Hey everybody, welcome to the Falling to Triumph webinar series. And you have just embarked on webinar series number 1, which is Strike Out Past Mistakes. I want you to enjoy this webinar. I want you to be interactive. I want you to use the chat box. I want you to ask questions. I want you to be inquisitive, leave remarks. I want this to be a fun time for you to learn how to strike out your past mistakes so that you can have a better, brighter future and have the things that you were destined for, the things that you desire. So first, I want to introduce myself. I am Virginia Manning. I am the CEO of Gen Man Consulting. I am the founder of Push Past Life Movement. I have been in the field of education and counseling, professional counseling, for about 10 years. So I really enjoy what I do. I love helping other people. I'm always trying to do things, research things, come up with new ideas to help people push past life challenges, overcome whatever they need to overcome so that they can have a successful life. And this webinar is one way that I am fulfilling that purpose of helping you to overcome something so that you could be more successful. So tonight we are focusing on how to strike out past mistakes. And I want to share the goals of this webinar. I want to share the tips from this webinar. I want to teach you how to strike out past mistakes. So first, let me share with you the rest of what the Falling to Triumph webinar series consists of. So of course, tonight you're on the first webinar series, which is Strike Out Past Mistakes. On December the 13th, we will have webinar number 2, which is how to vanquish past hurt and disappointment. And then webinar number 3 will be on January the 24th, which is how to overpower the urge to give up. And if you signed up for this webinar, the webinar number 1, then more than likely you are already grandfathered in or registered for the other 2 webinars. But just in case you aren't, look forward to those dates and we will send out emails and invites for you to join those webinars. And also, if you want to be a part of receiving newsletters and announcements and be the first one on special appearances and special announcements and specials that goes on with Gen Man Consulting, then join the Gen Man Consulting fan club at bit.ly/GenManVIP. And you can also visit my website at www.genmanconsulting.com if you would like more information about what I do, what my purpose is, what I aspire to do, or some more tips and tools from Gen Man Consulting to help you push past life and overcome your challenges. Then visit my website and join the VIP fan club. Okay? So next, let's look at the expectations for tonight. So of course, I want this to be fun, interactive. I want you to get all the tips and tools that you need to help you strike out your past mistakes. So that means that we need to be full in concentration zone, in a full concentration zone, 100%, 110%. Let me add that 10 to it, that 110% concentration zone. I want you all in, but I want to have a good time at the same time. So let's do a few housekeeping things. First of all, grab your notebook, your paper, your binder, your spiral, whatever it is you usually take notes in. And so you can take some notes so that you can write down whatever tidbits of information that stick out to you that you want to go back and revisit and expand on to help you to strike out those past mistakes. Also, I want you to use the chat box for questions and comments. I want us to be interactive. I want us to share aha moments. I want you to share if you have any questions. I want you to share, if I'm doing a good job, if I'm doing a lousy job. I want to know those things because this webinar is for you. I've been there. I've done that. I've learned some tips of the trade of pushing past mistakes. And now I want to share that with you, and I want to help you to grow and to find the success that you want. And at the same time, I still want to grow too. So I want those questions and comments, and feel free to put those in the chat box. Also, if you are on social media, Go and invite your friends to this webinar. It's not too late. We're just getting started, so they haven't missed too much of anything. But if you are making comments about some aha moments or some things that you've learned that you want to share on social media, please use the hashtag #DestinedToRise. DestinedTorise. Okay? But most importantly, I want you to have a good time. I want you to learn new things, and I want you to participate so we can create an intense training environment and have fun at the same time. Okay? So, and if you stay on to the webinar, I have a special bonus. I have a couple of bonuses for you just for staying to the end of the webinar. It'll be about an hour, probably leave about 5 minutes at the end of the webinar in case you have some questions for the most part, but we probably won't go over an hour unless we just get so into it that we go over an hour. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Are you tired of letting your past mistakes dictate your life? You're at the right place and at the right time. These are some of the objectives that we're going to cover tonight for the Strike Out Your Past Mistakes webinar, okay? These are some of the things we're going to do to help you overcome those past mistakes so that you can have a successful future. So we're going to look at what does it mean to let go of past mistakes. Some people may be confused. They may think that they don't have past mistakes, or they might think that their life is, I don't have any past mistakes. Everything is going fine. Nothing from my past is bothering me right now. But tonight, you're going to have an eye-opening experience because you're going to reflect and think about, well, maybe this did affect me now. Maybe whatever happened in the past did affect me now. And you just didn't pay attention to it. Maybe you blocked it out. Also, tonight, you're going to learn how to know when it is time to let go of the past. You just have to know the right time, when it's prime and ripe, and when it's time to let go, so that you can move forward, so that you can have the success that you need to get over that past, okay? Also, you're going to learn tonight how to decide to let go of the past, okay? You need to make that decision. Sometimes we're still stuck, and we're going through loops and hoops, and we don't know when to do this and when to do that. But tonight, you're going to decide to let go of the past. Also, we're going to look at some healthy ways to express past mistakes. Healthy ways, because sometimes if we have been doing things unhealthy, it's expressing our way in unhealthy ways. It's keeping us back. We're regretful. We're scornful. We're bitter. So we need to get over that, okay, so that we can live successful lives. Also, we're going to learn some steps to forgiving, because that's important when you're trying to get over past mistakes. You have to learn how to forgive. And we're going to go over showing how to show gratitude and thanks. And then we're going to look at some things of how to move to your next level and beyond. Okay, so those are the objectives we're going to highlight tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. You have any comments, please use the chat box. But before we get started, think of one thing from your past that you want to get rid of, or you wish you could let go. One thing. It may be something that has affected your relationships, something that has affected your career. It has affected your self-esteem. You don't have that confidence that you wish that you had. You weren't able to go back to school. Something from your past that has kept you from any of those number of things, or anything else that may come to your mind. Write it on your notepad, because you're going to need that to reflect, to move forward the rest of this webinar. So write down whatever past mistake that you may have had that you would want to get rid of, or you wish you could let go. Okay? Give you a couple of seconds to kind of think. Something about relationships, your career, job choice, write that down on your notepad, because we're going to use that all for the rest of the webinar to help you be able to strike out that past mistake so that you can move forward. Okay, what is the meaning of letting go? And if you are pretty familiar with Gen Man Consulting, you already know that my slogan is, when life gets in the way, push past. I mean, life is life. You cannot get rid of life. But when it gets in the way, when it's keeping you from being successful, you have to push past it. And that means you have to put action into it. Pushing past is not just sitting there being passive. It's an active, assertive way to get over whatever challenges you have in life. And tonight we're going to focus on your past mistakes, which may be a challenge for helping you to push past. Okay, life always affects us in some way. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. But either way, the past always has a way to affect your life. And you have to push past. You have to let go. Okay, so these are some ways that you can let go of the past. These are some tips. So you can let go of past mistakes by using them as life lessons. Okay, life lessons. Maybe you feared something, or maybe you were always trying to please other people, or you were believing that you were always right. You can use those as lessons of how you need to proceed in the future. I feared something before. Well, my lesson now is that I need to overcome that fear. Whatever I feared in the past, it has no reason to be feared. It was just fear in the past. So now I have a lesson to learn. I have learned a lesson from my past mistake. My fear is just a figment of my imagination. That could be one of your life lessons. Past mistakes are life lessons. Okay? And the problem with past mistakes is that you struggle with letting it go. When I say let it go, it doesn't mean forget who you are or where you've been. It just means that you are simply releasing it, and you kind of like, okay, this was my life. I can't get rid of it, but I need to utilize it in a way that is meaningful and to help me propel to my next level of success. And that one way is using it as a life lesson. Another way of letting go your past mistake is that you use your past mistakes as your life's purpose. Okay, maybe something happened in the past. Your past mistakes can develop you into who you are now and how you can serve others. And you can use what you have learned to energize someone else's life. Use your past mistake as your life's purpose. This is what I'm going to give. This is what my past mistake did to me. And this is now my life's purpose, to be a blessing, to help others, to energize somebody else's life. And that way it'll help you energize your life at the same time. Okay? So also past mistakes can initiate life changes. It's never a good idea to be stagnant, which means you're never changing. You have to change. You have to grow. In life, you grow to become better and wiser. Past mistakes open your eyes to the areas that need to be adjusted. Changing, adjusting. You should always be changing, adjusting, being better, learning from what you've done, using your purpose, adjusting. It's just a cycle of success. It's to use your life lessons, to use your purpose, to use your life changes, to grow and become a better person. And listen, if you connect with any of these three, I want you to put in the chat box, I connect with letting go. If you can use your past mistakes as a life lesson, if you can use your past mistake as your life's purpose, or if you can use your past mistakes to initiate life changes, I want you to put in the chat box, I connect with letting go. Okay? I connect with letting go. Let's let it go. Okay. Let's talk about releasing the past. Okay, you are probably wondering, what does this webinar have to do with me? What does it have to do with you? Well, this information is great if you need to release your past because you want a successful future. Okay, so why you? Why do you need to let go of the past? Well, let me tell you a little story about me. That's me in the picture right there with the big old smile and my beautiful baby. I think she probably was about 1 or 2 months. Well, I was 16 years old in this picture when I had my first child. And I had a great big smile on my face, as you can see in this picture, right? Great big smile. Some pretty teeth too, huh? Okay, and at the time, I probably had a reason to smile. I had a beautiful baby girl, I had a boyfriend who up until, that point of after that picture, He treated me like a queen. I was the center of his world. You know, he took care of his child. Everything was nice and rosy. You know, he treated me with the respect that I wanted and deserved. But soon, all of that changed. And that big, beautiful smile you see right there, it became sad. It turned into a frown. The once charming boyfriend that I had became abusive. He was physically abusive, emotionally abusive, verbally abusive. I mean, it was truly a devastating time in my life. And I didn't know why. I'm like, why? I was 16. I just had this baby, probably a little too soon, right? But she still was a blessing in it all. But, you know, why me? Why all of a sudden this turn of events? I mean, I couldn't understand why. And I had just had this baby at 16, and my boyfriend out of nowhere began abusing me. I'm like, why? So about 7 to 8 years, we were together. I was subjected to his cruelty, his physical abuse, verbal abuse, you know, and that was my past mistake. I allowed him to make me feel like I was not worthy of anything. And I didn't feel worthy of anything. I mean, it was just emotionally draining. It was emotionally hurtful. It just felt so terrible. I mean, it made me feel terrible. And I allowed him to make me feel that way, like I was not worthy of anything. I mean, my self-esteem was so low. I walked with my head down all the time. And still today, I struggle with my self-esteem. I struggle today. But I overcame it. And I strive for success by using my experience, that experience of abuse, emotional, physical, emotional abuse that I was exposed to at 16 years old, had a newborn baby. I was exposed to abuse. And I used that experience as a life lesson. I used it to fulfill my purpose, which is what I'm doing today. And it was a reason for me to grow. I used that past mistake of allowing myself to be abused, to be demeaning, to be in a demeaning relationship. I used that past as a vehicle to my success. And you can too. So that's what this webinar is about. It's about helping you realize that past. And you know what? When I was in the situation, I kind of didn't realize, like, okay, well, this past is going to be my platform for my purpose. Who would think that? Who would have thought that? I was in turmoil. But, you know, after some growing and some, you know, thinking about the why something would happen to you, how can I overcome this past? How can I get over this past so I can have a brighter future? You know, that was my release of the past. It helped me to identify what to use that past for. So it's time to release the past. If you think it's time for you to release the past, I want you to put in the chat box, pound. It is time to release the past. Because that's what we have to do tonight. We have to release that past. And these are some ways that you can release your past. Okay? So first you have to identify your past mistakes that has been hindering your success, because it's time to let it go. Okay? After you kind of identify that, I asked you earlier to put whatever past mistake that you think was hindering your success down on paper. I want you to establish your why. Determine why your future is so much more important than your past. In the chat box, put my why is, and put what your why is. You have to determine why you have to let go of that past and why it's important to let go of that past and move forward. Okay? Make a plan of action. Step by step, you need a process to make a plan of action. Okay? You need a plan of action. You need to know what you need to do to move forward. Okay? So, also, I want you to execute your plan of action. Okay? There's no sense of having a plan of action if you're just going to let it sit on a coffee table and be a cup holder. Be a coaster for your cup, okay? You need to execute that plan. You need to put momentum in your actions. And like Nike says, you need to just do it. Put some actions behind your word. Put your plan into action. And from time to time, you need to reevaluate to adjust your actions. I mean, you need to know, what's my growing moment? What did I not do right? What do I need to do to push forward so that I can reevaluate what I've done so I can continue using the good stuff, and then reevaluate and adjust the stuff that wasn't working so well. So you need to plan. You need to establish your why. You need to execute it, put some action into your plans. And then you need to sit back sometimes and reevaluate how that plan of action is working for you so that you can be successful in everything that you do. Okay? If you're feeling this, type regain power. You need to regain your power. Put that in the chat box. Regain power. Okay? So, next, let's look at how you need to express yourself. This is another tip for striking out your past mistakes, is that you need to express yourself in a healthy way. Now, you see how I looked when I was 16? But look at me today. I am expressing myself. I have overcome my past. I have learned. I use it as lessons. I use it as my life purpose, and I use it to continuously grow. And look at how I express myself. I'm free. My mind is free. I think in healthy ways. I don't let the turmoil of how my life used to be dictate my future. You have to express yourself in healthy ways, because when you're living in the past and you have past mistakes, it may make you fatigued. It may make you feel sad, you feel hopeless, you feel worthless, and that's a cycle. But you have to break that cycle. You have to take action. You need motivation. You need inspiration. You need support. You need tips and strategies. You need to think healthy. You need to release any harsh feelings you have developed about your past, and you need to replace those feelings with happy feelings, joy, contentment, and satisfaction. You go. We on our way to success. So if you think you deserve to be happy and be joyful, put this in the chat box. I deserve to feel joy. Yes, you do. You do. Life has been hard. Life is often hard, but you need to push forward. You deserve to feel joy. You deserve to express yourself in a joyful way. Don't feel sad. Don't feel hopeless. You need to work it through with action, motivation, inspiration, support, tips, and strategies. That's the cycle you should be living in. The cycle of joy. Okay? Next step to strike out your past is that you need to forgive, but don't forget. And some people might think that's kind of backwards because they say you're supposed to forgive and forget, but let me explain it. Most importantly, you need to forgive. That's very important, because when you harbor harsh feelings to yourself or others about past mistakes, you give away your power to move forward. It's harder to forget than it is to forgive. And the key is not to forgive. The key is not to carry the burden of always remembering the past. You don't want to necessarily forget the past because we want to remember the past. You want to remember what you got over. You want to remember how it used to be so that you can enjoy the successes of how you are now and how you're going to be. Okay, that's why it's important to forgive, but don't forget. Because you want to remember that past. Okay, I had a hard past. I made mistakes, but look at me now. I got over that past. I'm living in joy. I know what my past was. I know who I was, but look at me now. I forgive, but I don't forget. Okay, so if you're feeling like you can let go of your past, type "I am destined to rise" in the chat box. You're destined to rise. You are now living in your destiny. You are well on your way to living in your destiny. Okay? Forgive, but don't forget. And here are some additional ways to forgive without forgetting. You don't want to play the blame game, okay? Accept the mistakes that you made. You don't want to make accusations. You don't want to make things get harder. You don't want to make relationships hard by blaming. Don't play the blame game for yourself or for other people. You have to release the past. Forgive, but you need your past to celebrate the accomplishments you have made. Release it, but celebrate the future of what your past has acknowledged you of how you need to be successful. Take responsibility. Know that it is up to you to make the positive change from past to present and through your future. Forgive, but don't forget. And don't forget, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the chat box. We are open to anything. We want to learn and grow together, okay? So feel free to use the chat box at any time. Any comment you have, whether you think they're good or bad, we want to hear it. We want to grow together, and we want to learn together, okay? So the next strategy for striking out past mistakes is that you need to have an attitude of gratitude. Be thankful that you had a past and the power to shape your future. You have the power to shape your future. Okay? You have the power to shape your future. Clients I have worked with before always express how thankful they are that I genuinely assist them with redirecting their lives, because that's what I do. I love helping others. I want your life to be better. I want you to always strive to be better. And I want you to be thankful for what you had, because that's going to excel you and propel you to get to your next level. You have to show thanks and gratitude, because sometimes it's the little changes you make in your life that you have to give the biggest thanks for. The little things that you change in your life that you have to give the biggest thanks for, okay? Those little past mistakes or those big past mistakes, you have to be grateful that you're able to change them and move forward so that you can have the success and the destiny that you deserve, okay? So type in the chat box if you're feeling an attitude of gratitude. I want you to type appreciation for my life in the chat box. Appreciation for my life. So you're probably saying, exactly what does an attitude of gratitude mean, honey? Let me tell you what it means. It means you accept your past. Everyone is unique, and your life will never be replicated or duplicated. So you have to accept the road that you traveled. You have to appreciate the road that you traveled. And you have to appreciate your present. Where are you now is just as important as where you've been or where you are going. Be present in your now and appreciate where you are now. It might not be the most perfect little life in the world, or you may know that you could do better, or you may know that your past is hindering your future, but you have to appreciate your now so that you can move forward in the future. Okay? And have acts of kindness. Show others how appreciative you are for the life you live. Give to others. Donate things you no longer use, or volunteer your time to people who are in need. Support others. Show acts of kindness. That is an attitude of gratitude. So if you think you have an attitude of gratitude, honey, put one thing that you are grateful for in your life. It could be your children. It could be your job. It could be that you're breathing. It could be that you show an attitude of gratitude for this webinar, you know. Yes, this webinar is an attitude of gratitude, honey. Oh, I hope y'all are enjoying yourself just as much as I am. Just show an attitude of gratitude. Okay, so now that you have learned how to strike out past mistakes, that was a lot of information. I hope you took notes. I hope you are soaking this stuff in, because it is time for us to move up, move forward. It is time to go all the way up. Yeah, y'all know that song? Y'all like it? Okay. All the way up. You are destined to rise. You need to push your way to triumph. We need to get to the top. We are following the triumph, and we are pushing the victory. So I love to help people reach their true potentials. I do this for all and any, because you all deserve to be destined to rise. No matter what past mistakes you have endured, you deserve to rise above it. Okay? That's what I'm here for. That's what we're here for each other. That's why we're doing the chat box. That's why we're being interactive in the chat box. We're helping each other. We're soaking it in, and we're getting all the tools that we need so that we can be on our way up. Okay? You're destined to rise. Okay? Since you are destined to rise by staying on this webinar for the full time that we've been on here together, as a bonus, I'm going to give you one more juicy tip so that you can go all the way up. And I like this quote by Martin F. Tucker. It says, error is a hardy plant. It flourishes in every soil. And what does that have to do with tonight? Error is a hardy plant. Your past mistakes is like you planted a seed. Okay? You watered it. You cried over it. You know, you thought of how can I get out of these past mistakes, or why did I have these past mistakes happen to me? And now it's time to flourish it in every soil so that you can grow and be successful. Isn't that a great quote? That quote is powerful. Error is a hardy plant. It flourishes in every soil. So no matter what your past mistake was, whatever it was you did in the past, whether it be a decision, an action, neglect of doing something, whatever that past mistake was, it can flourish in every soil. And we are here today to plant your past mistake so that it can flourish. Okay? So here's how you can get to your next level of lifestyle. And remember, this is some bonus tips just for staying to the end of the webinar. Okay, your next level lifestyle is empowerment, knowledge. Never stop growing, learning, or living. That is your power. You ever heard knowledge is power? It is so true. Whether it be reading a book, going to a 2-day class, a 30-minute class, listening to somebody who is wise, coming to a webinar, joining a book club, whatever it is, you have to empower yourself to get to your next level lifestyle. It's not just going to happen just from you being passive and sitting around wishing, hoping, and praying. You need empowerment. You need to get it. You need to gain those tools and tips that you need, however it is, to get what you need for your next level of lifestyle. Which brings us to the next point. You need growth. Strive to always go a step above where you are now. Never, ever, ever be content with where you are. You should always be striving to go a step above. You make it to that step, time for the next step. You make it to that step, time for the next one. It's like on a ladder. You make it to one step, go to the next step. Always grow, always strive to know more, to do more, be a step above your present state. And here we go with this word again, purpose. Do what you are good at and what comes good naturally. That is your purpose. Sometimes people try to force themselves to be something that they aren't, and so they fail at it. That could be some past mistakes. You tried to be something that you weren't, so you failed at it. But if you have to force it, it's probably not what you are meant to be, okay? So here's your bonus 3 tips of how you can get your next level lifestyle just for staying on to the end of the webinar. And that's not it. I have another bonus for you, so stay tight and hold on. Okay, so here you are at the road less traveled. Do you want to continue letting your past mistakes guide your future? Are you willing to solve the riddle of what you need to do to move forward? Are you tired of lemons being a part of your life? Your past versus your future? Well, we have to take that lemon that's sitting on that crystal glass and we need to squeeze it into some lemonade. It's time to get unstuck. If you are ready for the next level, to live the life you are destined to live, type the number 1 in your chat box to let us know you are number 1. And you truly are. I'm your number 1 fan. You are number 1. You are destined to rise. Okay, so let me briefly show you some gratitude that has been given to me over the course of my career. Okay? What others have been saying about me and how I've been fulfilling my life purpose, how I've overcame my past mistakes to get to where I'm at. So on an interview with Miss Lisa Faulkner, she described me as an encouragement to others. That was so wonderful. Such a great interview that I had with her. If you didn't have the opportunity to listen, it's somewhere in my Facebook archive somewhere. So listen to that. Also, I have another person who we are Facebook friends now, but I hadn't communicated with her in a long time. We kind of grew up together, and she finally connected with me, and she said that so many others, because she's been following me and some of the motivation and inspiration I have on my pages, said so many of others need what I offer. That's encouragement. That's support. That's like, okay, you doing the thing, girl. You are helping others. And so many people don't even want to reach out and get the help that I'm offering. A lot of the things I offer are free. I have the free Facebook group with tips and inspiration and motivation. I have my regular Facebook group. I have files in my Facebook group that's giving information and tips and strategies. So I just give. Here's another appreciation, gratitude that someone gave to me. And this is one of my clients who I counseled, and she expressed her appreciation for my dedication and care to help her overcome the struggles that she was facing. And let me tell you, she was facing some pretty hard struggles, okay? And I helped her through them. I let her see how much she deserved, what she needed, and to get over the challenges that she was having, and she got through them. And she was so appreciative of the fact of being able to do what she thought she couldn't do, what she was destined to do, she didn't even know she could do. Okay, so don't allow your past to hold you back from your destiny. So now what? What will it take for you to get over past mistakes? What do you need? What support do you need? What tips do you need? What motivation, inspiration, classes, webinars, groups, circles of success? What do you need to get over your past mistakes to help you reach the success that you need? And most importantly, how can I serve you so that you reach a level of success like never before? It took me several months to come up with the perfect plan of how I can help you and serve you to overcome your past mistakes, to help you conquer your past mistakes. It took me several months to come up with a plan. And I want you to be destined to rise. I mean, why not? So many people are fearing the policies that the Trump administration are going to put in place. Well, today is your opportunity to overturn that fear by preparing for your future. You have to overcome your obstacles and challenges. You have to strike out your past mistakes. If you feel like it's your time to overcome your obstacles and challenges, I want you to type #success in the chat box. It's time for your success. It's time for you. You are destined to rise. You are destined to overcome your past mistakes. Your past is who you are, but it should not define your future. It's time to get over it. Now, let me introduce you to a special program. I told you I had been working on something to help you out for several months. I have developed this program just for you. And I want you to dedicate only 6 months, okay? It's just 6 months of your now to get an eternity of forever success. It takes dedication, commitment, and desire to want to do better. And so I have something that can help you to be better, to get over those past mistakes, get over your challenges, to help you become successful. And I took several months to develop this program, and it is the Destined to Rise Circle of Success. In the Destined to Rise Circle of Success, there are 6 months of training. Within the Destined to Rise Circle of Success, I researched and I developed and I came up with a 2S plus 4C formula to success. Bet you're wondering what that is, right? Hey, it is explosive. And you also get a free copy of my Master Your Journey, Push Past Life book. You can get an unlimited access to workbooks and templates from each training. You get daily motivation, inspiration, and tips and support, which is the most important part of developing into the person that you want to be. And most importantly, you get discounts on products. Everybody loves discounts and exclusive webinars. Okay, all this is just for you. I want you to be a part of the Destined to Rise Circle of Success. And look what I did just for you, for your dedication, for attending this Strike Out the Past Mistakes webinar, Strike Out Your Past Mistake webinars. I have a special just for you. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with other success programs or other programs that are offered out there, but 9 times out of 10, those programs are $99 a week. I mean, sometimes they can get up to the thousands of dollars if you're doing a 6-month program. That's other programs. But because you attended this Strike Out Your Past Mistake webinar, and because I am so passionate about helping you get to your next level of success, I want you to be a part of the Destined to Rise Circle of Success so badly that I am offering your first week for 97 cents. Okay? How low can you go? That is less than $1. Okay? Less than $1. So just for you, the Destined to Rise Circle of Success, like I said, is 97 cents for the first week. And after that, before midnight, if you register and opt in before midnight, it's $37 per month. You get a big $60 savings for the 6-month program if you register before midnight tonight. Okay, so let me tell you what you're going to get, because you're like, okay, you want me to join this program and it's 97 cents for the first week and $37 per month for 6 months. But what is it? Well, let me tell you about this 6 months program, the Destined to Rise Circle of Success. Okay, I told you I took me months and months to develop the 2C plus 2S plus 4C formula for success. Well, this is what it is. The 2 S's is dealing with self and success. That's 2 months. 1 month is going to be focused on self, and another month is going to be focused on success. So self is dealing with your self-esteem, self-worth, self-control. You know, that's just a few of the selves that you need to help you develop your success. Another module is going to be focused strictly on success. You're going to know how you need to do it, the things you need to do to get what you want, to get what you desire, and get what you deserve. True success. So one module is going to be focused on strictly success. How do I get it? How do I get it? Okay, your 4C modules, 1 month is going to be dealing with connections. Connections are important because if we don't have the right connections and we don't know how to nurture those connections, we don't know how to build those connections, if we don't know how to use those connections, you cannot get to your level of success. So that module is going to be dealing with connections. You're going to be cultivating relationships, whether it be family, work, church, whatever type of relationships where you are commingling with other people. Those are connections. You need connections to be successful. Another module in the 4 C's is confidence. You need to learn how to be bold. You need to know how to feel like I can get it. And you need to feel like I deserve it. You need confidence and boldness. That is what the 2nd C module is going to be about. How to build that boldness and confidence to go and get it. And then we need cheer. Because there's nothing like being happy, okay? We're going to work hard to get our success, but we need to be happy. This module is going to teach you about cheer, about finding your happy, being happy, continuing to be happy, because success is like 0 if you're not happy. And I'm sure a few of us already know that experience. I mean, you can have all the money in the world or whatever, but if you're not happy, then it means nothing. You're not enjoying it. So that's the same thing with success. You need to learn how to be happy with your success and with your level of success. And the 4th C, the 4th module in the C is credit. And it's not talking about your credit score and you can go get a credit card and get a car and all that stuff. It's talking about credit, which is your pride, your praise, and your purpose. You're getting your due acknowledgement. You're giving due acknowledgement. That way you can prepare yourself to the next level so you can get the success that you want, the success that you need by giving the credit and receiving the credit that's due. And that's also powerful because that helps to lift you to a different level where if you feel successful, you look successful, you can be successful, and you can share success. Okay, so those are the 6 months of modules that's in the Destined to Rise Circle of Success. Okay, astonishing. 97 cents for the first week. You can call that a trial period because if you don't like what you get from that first week, you get instant access. Then, forget about the $37 a week. But I believe me, that first week is going to be so awe-inspiring. It's going to blow you out of the water of what it's going to offer you that you're going to want to continue with the rest of the 6 weeks, okay? It's only $37, which means after midnight, the price goes up to $47, which means you're going to miss out on saving $60. Because once you see other people working the program and the level that they're rising to, the destiny that they're reaching, how the Destined to Rise success, circle of success is helping them get to where they want to be in life, helping them to overcome and strike out past mistakes, then you're going to want to be a part of this circle of success. So get in on the deal. Opt in now. You have until midnight to opt in, which is probably maybe about 4 or 5 hours from now. So 97 cents for the first week, $37 per month. Okay, you don't want to miss that opportunity. Okay. Have any questions about the pricing, about the modules, please feel free to put them in the chat box. And I want you to put in the chat box, pound, I am ready. Because I want to know if you're ready. Because if you're not ready, because this is not for everybody. This program is for people who are ready. Are you ready to get to your next level of success? If you are not ready to overcome past mistakes, overcome challenges, overcome obstacles, then this program is not for you. You have to be ready, okay? We want this to work. $37 is really not a lot, but we want your $37 to work for you, okay? So don't do this for me. Do it for you, your family, your loved ones. Do it for your success. It's time to stop falling, okay? Falling to Triumph is a catchy name. It's a wonderful name, but we want to fall to success. We want to triumph. We are destined to rise. So are you ready for an explosive 2017? We only have a few months left up in 2016, and you want to be ready for 2017. We're always making New Year's resolutions, but guess what? We don't do anything to back those resolutions up. Somehow we think those resolutions are going to miraculously appear or whatever. But this is a deal of a lifetime. You cannot beat 97 cents for the first week and $37 for 6 months. Okay? You can't beat that. And to bring you into your new year on a new leaf, turning over a new leaf, being happy, getting the success that you need for a little of nothing, hey, it's worth it. Okay? So if you think that 97 cents is the bomb.com, type I'm all in. Okay, I'm all in. I said it's not for everybody. It's for you if you're ready. Okay, you have to be ready to go all in. You have to be ready for an explosive 2017. You have to be not just talk about it. Don't just talk about those New Year's resolutions about what you're going to do and about what you want. You have to be about that New Year's resolutions. You have to put momentum in action. You have to be ready. You have to be on your A game. Okay, so remember. Next, we're going to do a little Q&A. If you have any questions, we can answer them. I want to remind you of the next 2 webinars that are in the Falling to Triumph webinar series. December is the Vanquish Past Hurt and Disappointments. And webinar number 3, which is going to be at the end of January, is about how you can overcome the urge to give up, okay? So any questions and answers, please feel free to put them in the chat box. We're going to stick around for about 5 minutes if we have questions, Q&A. Now is the time to ask. I enjoyed your participation. I know you took great notes. Feel free to go to my website if you have any additional questions. If you want to leave comments or anything like that, you can leave that at my website. I check that on a daily basis. So I want to know how you feel if you have any questions. Remember, you have until midnight to take advantage of the 97 cents a week for the first week offer and $37 for 6 months. Tonight at midnight, I want to thank you. You have been a wonderful interactive group. And remember, you are destined to rise, and now is your time. So have a good night. Talk to you on webinar number 2 next month.